What's up, duelists? Excalibur. We're back at a TGS event, the Rarity 5 celebration, where the case just dropped yesterday, and then we had, instead of our regular locals tournament, a slightly more prestigious event to celebrate Rarity 5, and your boy ended up taking down the whole event. I will not lie, I won every single dice roll, but I will say that only 2 of those dice rolls mattered. Shout out to Eric McCarthy, my first round opponent. He was the final boss of the tournament, and he was actually my first round opponent. It's always a pleasure, and I'm glad to see him back in the community. He is flipping me off currently. But shout out to the TGS and Chicago scene, of course. Chicago has the best breed of Yu-Gi-Oh players, undoubtedly. Shout out to Team Pandemonium. They don't play, but they're my team back at home, and they always support me. Shout out to Gambit Gaming for sponsoring / just helping / playtesting / just being good guys all around. And then shout out to Joseph Pace, who spotted me today for the tournament since some weird shit's been happening. And then he's also just a great guy to be around and talk to and then get some Culvers with afterwards. So we're going to get into it.
But wait, what did you win?
Right. Let's not dodge the elephant in the room. This isn't all the prize packs. This is my cut. So there was packs a new set that I will try to open on maybe P-Size channel, but then there is this beautiful Rarity Collection 5 mat. Look at this thing. It has one of my favorite monsters on it. I hope Blue Eyes can come back in full power this year. Primite Ether Barrel Dragon. We're just, yeah. So this is a really big accomplishment, mainly just because I'm kind of getting back into the groove of like defeating that imposter syndrome of like, yeah, you can topple locals, but like I never seem to really win big tournaments, and I think it's either because it's just a mix of like I have a lot of other stuff in life going on that takes away from my ability to invest more time in this. But even little drops in the bucket for over the years will accumulate to a skill set that I'm very proud to take to tournaments and able to do well consistently. I am not trying to self-glaze, but also just having a good team in your background too to kind of, let you know, hey, you're not a bad player, and we see where there's improvement. Just having you guys around is been very beneficial, because there's not only incentive to show up the locals and hang out with the guys, but there's also just that like iron sharpens iron mentality where they're helping me figure out like, yeah, it's not this, but this could be. So, all the sentimental stuff aside, I'm gonna start crying. Thank God I got the sunglasses on at War Farm. We're gonna get into it. Something to talk about is I switched up the build. I was looking at 2 lists, one from Tel Aviv, one from another, but they both top 8'd regionally. And that was very important because I noticed that they put Dominus Impulse in the main deck instead of the side. So that's what affected the deck building today, is I just really wanted to sit on a card that was both usable on my turn and their turn, instead of just kind of glass cannoning it. So back with Mitsurugi Pure, I did not end up going for a second engine. Instead, I just decided to play a clean 40, and I made a very big change besides the Impulse, which was, we'll get into that later, it's more of the spells, but it affected the consistency, and it still ended up working out really well. Unfortunately, as a concession for playing Dominus Impulse in the main, which is one of the biggest selling points, I'm only down to 1 Manju. This is instead a less versatile option to start with, and now just a consistency concession that we play, but he's still very cool. To help out with our new deck building choice, we have the 3 Aramasa. This is good for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're cutting some other stuff that you'll see, but number 2, this gives us more names to search off of recycling in the grind game later, as it can potentially be a problem later down on the line if you win a little too hard in the paint your first couple turns and you're trying to just keep yourself in the game for the rest of the duel and you have less targets to search. But shuffling back mirror is also usually helpful with that too. And then to round off the reptiles, we have the 1 Saji, the 1 Kusanagi, and the 1 Nightsword Serpent. So what my deck lists were known for in the past were just the main deck Wosu, which was cool. But I realized something about the main deck Wosu, which was it hindered my skill ceiling, because while it was a great option to just easily get rid of and deal with certain board pieces, it put me in an awkward position where maybe I was tributing something in hand and not getting the full special summon effect, or it was not allowing me to access my extra deck, which was wasted potential instead of just being pot of extravagance targets. So the main deck Serpent has actually been really clutch, as if I bricked on other targets, this would just help come out as a free body and establish more board presence. It's also very good in neutral. So that is the main deck lineup. refined. I do still miss the main deck Wosu. There's no reason to play in the main. Just having to clean out to just when stuff randomly hits, but you'd rather just take your game 1 as like a whatever happens, happens. Game 2 and 3 will stabilize.
Yeah.
And then the only monsters in the deck we're back now on Fuwalos. And instead of playing Ghost Bells for Draco Tail traps, I just decided we'll just keep it to the Ashes. The Fua is just good coverage for all your matchups. Basically everything accesses the main deck and extra deck. Even Mitsurugi, this will give me a draw, which somebody called by it earlier, which was like, that was actually best case scenario, where I'd rather you do that on this than actually impact something that matters in the game, like, my own Saji. So those are back, and it worked out pretty well today, and it's also technically a consistency card. So I'll say it since we're moving on to the spells. We cut the Radiant Typhoon package. There is no longer the Draw 2/MST engine.
Yeah.
It's very awkward because you don't have a good main deck or searchable out to back row. So that was the one weakness of the deck I noticed is we don't have a real way to search back row hate. We just still have we do a lot of dodging and board wiping. It's not really a big deal. So on the Mitsurugi spells, prayers, the 1 mirror and the 2 ritual. This is all you need. This ratio is pretty golden. Help me with the rarity bumps. Then of course we play the 3 pre-preps. So even without Radiant Typhoon, this deck is still pretty consistent. Maybe the argument you can make is that engine was good because while having extra RMosses and pre-preps help you search your Mitsurugi stuff, sometimes what you're trying to find is non-engine too.
Yeah.
Well, I shit on this card a lot. I made a very weird deck building choice where I see either list play... They don't play this ratio. They don't play this ratio without the Radiant Typhoon package. I just decided we'll make it a clean 40.
I miss this card.
You missed this card? I hate this card. It was all right the one time I did use it. Yeah. Targeting a specific card you do want is pretty good, all things considered, because this can be a little too chaotic. I definitely got to a point today where there's a Sky Striker match. It's still 2-0'd, but that would have been an easier game 2 to play if I didn't banish all my Fallen Virtuous targets. So that was awesome. We still are playing that Fallen Virtuous package. Nothing really needs to say. This is one of the best cards in the format right now. Probably the best, next to Habakiri, my boy. 3 Fallen or Forbidden Droplet, just more versatile right now and higher impact than Imperm.
Yeah.
1 Called by the Grave because while I do think this kind of is awkward, especially if you have to go second with Draco Tail board, you need something to guarantee that your very thin engine needs to play. 3 Impulse because that's the whole main deck and that's one of the biggest selling points, and then the Purification, of course, for your negates. I typically never side it out because I think I need something for the grind game.
Yeah.
I don't usually play for the OTK. On the extra deck, the same thing as last time. 2 Dynamondo, 2 SB, 2 Masquerena, 1 Baguska, that should be a Tornado Dragon, I hate that card. 1 Dugaris, 1 Gallant to search the Nib that's still in the side deck, I don't main it, I think it's too awkward. And then 1 Exciton Knight to go into the Fiendsmith engine that doesn't exist.
Don't you just plus if you nib on the opponent's turn because you tribute your own cards and they just come back?
Yeah, if you nib on your own turn, but that's under the assumption that you went first, so that's where that nib would come in. A lot of that matchups, nib's really not that good, I'm not going to lie. It's more just like I guarantee you don't die. And then, which is good, but it's not good against their deck. And then, big guy, summon this today, did not summon this today. This ate a lot of spells. And then the Fallen and the Virtuous package that I banished all day off of Pot of Extravagance. So that was really cool. $50 engine, by the way. And then, side deck, we have the 3 Perulias. This is great for, Vanquish Soul. I don't see too much of it anymore. Then we have 2 Droll and 1 Nibiru, the 1 searchable Nib off the Growlithe Granite. The Droll put in work against someone today. I don't remember who. I think it was a mirror match. We have 3 Retaliating Sea. I'm surprised I wasn't playing this earlier. It really is just a silver bullet against Draco Tail. It one-shot this shit talker at my locals, and that was fun to watch him crumble. Thank you for the map, buddy. The 1 Wosu, because that's where the Night Sword Serpent was, and that's where it went. The 1 Shifter, because this is technically a Shifter deck. And I went back to Dai-Fis in the main, because you do need a good main deck option, and all the stuff I was playing in the side deck before was more hit or miss. I was never really siding in the Imperms because I wanted to. It just was like, oh, this is better than whatever I have. So I'd rather just play these, and then a 1 Gozen match to go with it as another going first option. So that's the deck. Hopefully I didn't yap for too long, but I appreciate you guys. I appreciate this again, Chicago Gambit Gaming. Thank you guys. Have a good night.